Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Sunday, December 29th, 2024. Now, if you like what you see, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most in college hoops and other sports, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Sunday in college hoops. First up, we have Morgan State and Minnesota. This one's 2 p.m. Eastern on Peacock. Minnesota is 7-5 this season, so a winning record straight up, but one of the worst against the spread records in college basketball right now. I think because of that ATS record, we're actually getting Minnesota at a decent price in this game. I think Minnesota wins it in a blowout and covers the number. Against Fairleigh Dickinson, Minnesota had a really slow start in that game. It was about an even game at halftime. I think the score was right around tied, but Minnesota won the second half in a blowout, and we saw some secondary scorers start to get going. I mean, so far this year, for the offense for the Golden Gophers, it's been the Dawson Garcia show. It's just a one-man show for Minnesota, but in that game against FDU, we saw 3 other double-digit scores, and Minnesota looked like a lot more sustainable offense in that game, scoring 74 points. I could see them in the 80s in this one. I mean, Morgan State, one of the weakest defenses in college basketball. They give up a lot of high percentage shots to their opponents. We saw them just give up 99 points to Iowa State. I think Minnesota scores at will. I think their defense is still very strong. I think they take care of the basketball in this one and en route to a big win and a cover as well. So give me Minnesota. I'm going to lay the points. Next up, we have Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Green Bay. This one's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Green Bay has really struggled this year. There's no doubting that. 2-12 record. There was big expectations for this team because not only last year was a successful season, but you hired Doug Gottlieb, a big name, personality as your head coach, and now you're 2-12. You lost to a subdivision opponent, and you're on a losing streak. It's not been pretty for the Phoenix, but Green Bay was competitive in its last game against Drake. I mean, Drake is 11-0 this season, and they had a lot of big wins and covers, but Green Bay was able to compete and only lose by 10 points, holding Drake to 72 points and only 2 made threes for a very good three-point shooting team. That's quite impressive for Green Bay's defense, and that was without a few key contributors. We'll see if, now that the Christmas break has passed, they've 8 days off, if they can get a few key contributors back in the lineup. And, Purdue Fort Wayne is a very balanced team. Their defense definitely needs some work. I mean, not a great defensive rebounding team. They give up a lot of second chance opportunities. They're ranked 335th in 2-point defense, but their offense makes up for it. They're a very efficient offense. I just think Green Bay does enough here defensively to keep up in this game, similar to what we saw against Drake, and cover the number at home. Give me Green Bay in this one. I'm going to take the points. Next up, we have South Dakota State and Alabama. This one is going to be 3 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. We took Alabama over Kent State in the last game for the Crimson Tide, and that was an 81-54 win and cover for the Tide. And for me, I see a similar result in this game. I think South Dakota State, very solid program. I mean, this is a team that in recent years has been able to pull off some upsets. They've been to the NCAA tournament, and they're usually a program to watch out for, but this year's team offensively just not as efficient, not as strong as I would want them to be in a game like this against an Alabama team that can go on big scoring runs. I just don't think South Dakota State makes enough tough shots, similar to Kent State, to keep up in this game and cover the number. Alabama, when we saw in that game against the Golden Flashes, they scored 81 points. They won the game by 27, despite shooting a miserable 26% from 3 and 51% from the free throw line. It was an off shooting night from 3 and the free throw line. They were able to cash in on their buckets inside the paint, and that's why they went on to win by such a lopsided score. But that Alabama defense, we all hear about the Alabama offense, and rightfully so. But this defense is really improved, in my opinion, this season, and I think they show up in this one against the Jackrabbits. Give me Alabama. I'm going to lay the points. Next up, we have Valparaiso and Bradley. This one, 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. The Beacons, I think, are a team to watch out for in the Missouri Valley this year. Not necessarily to compete for the conference title, but I think they're going to pull off some upsets. I think they're a dark horse in this conference. So far, 7-5 record, so they've already matched their win total from last year at 7-25. And when you look at this team, I mean, this is shot quality-wise a really solid offense. They're getting good looks. They take care of the basketball. They do a great job at getting to the free throw line. And they're also the 8th best free throw shooting team in the country. 82% as a team, 81% as a team is excellent. Bradley's had some issues taking fouls in a few games this year, and I think that could be a big way for Valpo to get a lot of its points in this ball game. Beyond that, I just think Bradley's a little bit overvalued right now, overrated. This is a 10-2 team straight up. They're an excellent shooting team. They're the number one three-point shooting team in the country. But fundamentally and shot quality-wise, I think this team's lacking a little bit. Bradley's had some issues taking care of the basketball. They turn it over about 18% of their possessions. Rebounding-wise, not the best team. And I think Valpo finds enough scoring in this game to keep it close and potentially win it outright. I think Valpo pulls off some upset wins in this conference. Maybe this is one of those games playing with revenge against Bradley. But I'm going to take the points just in case as well. Next up, we have UT Arlington and Texas State, the final game we're going to talk about for the Sunday card in college basketball. Now, this is 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+, and this is also a rematch from last year's meeting in non-conference play between these two, which was a win for Texas State. So UT Arlington is now playing on the road, playing with revenge. I like their chances to keep it close, and I also like their chances to potentially win it outright. I think UT Arlington is a lot better than its current record. They're 6-7, a losing record, but they played a pretty tough schedule. They're ranked 132nd in strength of schedule. They played true road games at USC, Missouri State, Arkansas State, and Liberty. So obviously USC, you could say the toughest game on the schedule, but a team like Liberty, Arkansas State, they had that neutral site game against Rhode Island, a lot of tough mid-major schools. So they're battle-tested in their own right. Texas State, I think they're a solid team, 8-4 record so far. They played a few tough games, but I definitely think that the Mavericks have played a tougher schedule. And for me, this offense a little bit too reliant on making tough shots. They're a great three-point shooting team, but they are taking some low percentage threes. They turn the ball over quite a bit, and they don't really force a lot of turnovers on the other side. I think UT Arlington can exploit that, and this is also a decent three-point defense that the Mavericks have, ranked 167th in the country. They don't give up a lot of their points from three-point range. Only 28% of the points given up from UT Arlington are from threes. So I think UT Arlington matches up well in this game. They're battle-tested. They're playing with revenge. Give me UT Arlington plus the points in this one. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Put those college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.